Imagine opening your phone to check one harmless message. There's just one tiny problem. 20 minutes later, you're watching a stranger restore an abandoned toaster. You don't remember choosing this. You certainly didn't wake up wanting toaster content. But while you were scrolling, something else was happening. Dozens of companies were competing for brief pieces of your attention. They weren't selling the videos to you. Most of those were free. They were selling access to you. That distinction powers one of the most profitable machines ever built. Your attention becomes data. That data helps predict your behavior. Then advertisers pay for an opportunity to influence what you do next. Here's how it actually works. The process begins with attention. Every platform needs as much of it as possible because an empty app can't show advertisements. And attention has an unusual property. Everyone receives the same 24 hours, but nobody can manufacture an extra hour when the supply runs low. A platform can only persuade you to spend more of the time you already have. So the first challenge is simple. Make you open the app. A notification appears. Someone liked your photograph. A creator uploaded something new. A red circle informs you that 3 mysterious events have occurred, and apparently civilization cannot continue until you investigate them. Once you arrive, the next objective is keeping you there. That is why many feeds never end. A newspaper has a final page. A television episode has credits. An infinite feed has neither. Every movement produces another chance to find something interesting. The platform doesn't need every post to succeed. It only needs the next potentially interesting post to remain one swipe away. A few misses cost almost nothing when another attempt is waiting directly beneath your thumb. But capturing attention is only the first stage. The second is learning what holds it. Let's say 2 people watch the same cooking video. Maya watches 3 seconds and leaves. Daniel watches the entire thing, saves the recipe, reads the comments, and sends it to a friend. To you, these are ordinary actions. To a recommendation system, they are signals. The platform records which posts you pause on, which videos you finish, what you search for, which accounts you follow, and which advertisements you ignore. Some services may also receive information from websites, applications, advertisers, or data providers outside their own platforms. But it doesn't need certainty. It needs patterns. One action reveals very little. Thousands of actions create a behavioral trail. If you repeatedly finish camping videos, search for hiking routes, and save photographs of national parks, the system can treat that combination as evidence of an interest, even if you never press a button labeled, "I want a tent." The system may not understand you like a friend does. It doesn't need to. It only needs to make useful predictions. Which video will keep you watching? Which product might interest you? Or which advertisement you're most likely to click? Now we reach stage 3, turning that prediction into money. Suppose you've been watching camping videos. You search for hiking trails, pause on a tent review, and save a post about national parks. A camping equipment company wants to reach people who might buy a tent. Another company wants to sell hiking boots. A travel service wants to promote cabins. When an advertising space becomes available, automated systems can conduct a tiny auction. Advertisers compete under rules involving their bids, objectives, audiences, and the platform's estimate of how useful or effective each advertisement will be. The winner gets the opportunity to appear on your screen. This can happen before the page finishes loading. While you see a blank rectangle for a fraction of a second, machines can evaluate the available information, compare eligible advertisements, choose one, and place it into the page. The advertiser isn't necessarily purchasing your name or receiving a folder labeled with your secrets. In many systems, it is purchasing targeted access to a category or predicted audience. The platform keeps control of the machinery while charging businesses to use its predictions. Imagine a bakery with enough money for 1,000 advertisements. Showing them randomly across an entire country would waste most of the budget. Showing them to nearby people who have recently engaged with food content is potentially much more useful. Better prediction makes each advertising opportunity more valuable. That arrangement is enormously profitable. Meta reported approximately $196 billion in advertising revenue for 2025. The company also said substantially all its revenue currently comes from advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Alphabet reported that YouTube exceeded $60 billion in combined annual advertising and subscription revenue during the same year, and the revenue does not come from one person watching one advertisement. It comes from billions of small moments repeated across enormous audiences. A pause, a scroll, a search, a video, an advertisement, and a return visit tomorrow. But here's the problem. If time on the platform creates more opportunities to display advertisements, then keeping people engaged becomes financially valuable. Recommendation systems are therefore pushed to become better at finding whatever holds attention. That could be a useful tutorial, a family photograph, or a genuinely funny toaster. Except attention doesn't always respond most strongly to useful information. It can also respond to outrage, fear, novelty, conflict, and surprise. A calm correction may be important, but an alarming claim can be much harder to ignore. This doesn't mean an employee personally chooses every outrageous post. The system is much more mechanical. Content receives reactions. Those reactions become measurements. The measurements influence distribution. Successful patterns are repeated at enormous scale. Imagine two posts. One produces a few thoughtful responses. The other produces thousands of angry comments, arguments, shares, and repeat views. A machine optimized around engagement may see the second post as the stronger performer, without understanding whether the attention is healthy, accurate, or enjoyable. That is not a secret button marked "Make People Angry." It is an incentive problem. If the system rewards whatever generates the strongest measurable response, creators, advertisers, and recommendation models all learn which patterns receive distribution. Advertisers benefit because targeting can reduce wasted spending. A neighborhood bakery would rather reach nearby customers than purchase an advertisement for the entire country. Users can also receive more relevant recommendations instead of random promotions. On paper, everyone wins. In practice, the same machinery raises serious questions about privacy, manipulation, and how much information companies should collect. Better predictions often benefit from more signals, longer histories, and connections across more devices or services. The business incentive points toward collecting more, while privacy protection often requires collecting less. A Federal Trade Commission staff report concluded that major social media and video streaming companies gathered extensive information to monetize through targeted advertising, while finding important weaknesses in privacy controls and protections for younger users. The concern is not simply that an advertisement might be accurate, it is that the machinery behind that accuracy can be difficult to see. You may know why you searched for hiking boots. You may not know which other signals help decide the advertisement, how long those signals remain useful, or how many systems contributed to the prediction. And that brings us back to your phone. The free video wasn't really free. You paid with time, several behavioral signals, and another opportunity for an advertiser to reach you. The platform received evidence about what held your attention. The advertiser received a chance to influence your next action, and you received another video, possibly about a toaster you never planned to watch. No single swipe is worth very much. No single pause builds a billion-dollar company. But billions of people producing signals, viewing advertisements, and returning every day create something extraordinarily valuable. The system works because tiny moments accumulate. A second becomes a signal. Signals become patterns. Patterns become predictions. Predictions become advertising opportunities. And those opportunities become revenue. Tech companies didn't discover how to manufacture more time. They discovered how to measure yours, predict where it goes, and sell the moment before you decide what to do with it.